This is Mark and Patty Thompson, and we're coming back about 4 months after a fall install. It's now spring, and Mark's going to take us on a little tour of the backyard.
So what we had in the backyard before was a actual lawn and surrounded by retaining walls, which were made of 30-year-old pressure-treated wood, which was beginning to rot, and the yard wasn't looking very good, and we decided to do an overhaul aesthetically and functionally. So these kind of jasmine beds and this little slope here is pretty much the only kind of thing that was really left over from the beginning. We refaced the patio and put new rocks in over our French drain. So that looks much better than it did before.
This is a natural cleft bluestone tile. It's full color, and so it gives a lot of stone interest.
And then when we walk up here, we get to the new artificial grass, which is much easier to keep looking nice than our old yard, where the grass was perpetually trying to die and kill itself. Looks great. It's great for games. We play golf on it. We play cornhole on it. We play giant Jenga on it and have fun running around.
And we don't have to carry a lawnmower up.
And we don't have to carry a lawnmower up here anymore, which is fantastic. It's when we redid the retaining walls, we did much more of or Dane did much more of a curved structure that's much more kind of pleasing to the eye, and we replaced all of the old pressure-treated wood with this Sonoma fieldstone, which looks great. And then we surrounded the yard with these yellow daisies, which are now coming into bloom and also look great. We had kind of square terracing, which we've softened up and just have a slope into the Sonoma stone. We should point out is these cafe lights that go all the way around the lawn, around the yard actually, and from the house, and they provide fantastic lighting at night. We were out here till 10 o'clock the other night playing games in the yard, and could see everything. Oh, Patty just turned them on, although it's still daylight here, so they're not as bright as obviously they will be at night. But at night, it's great. Full lighting to do whatever you want in the backyard. I don't know if it was the biggest design surprise, but the biggest result that we're the most happy with is that we are now constantly using the backyard, which we never used the backyard before. And not only the yard, but the patio, which was, we didn't change anything on the patio other than put in buy a new couch that we could sit on, but we never would sit out here before because the backyard just wasn't attractive. And now we sit out here all the time. So the big result for me was now we have a backyard that we like being in, which is great.
My favorite thing is we actually lowered, when we were designing this, we looked out at this level from the house, and the entire yard was about a foot taller. And what I noticed was it was just above eye line to where, particularly if you were sitting, you would not see the grass. It would look, right. It'd be too many steps, and you wouldn't have this sense of expanse. So we lowered it just to the point where looking out the windows, you can actually see the grass. And I think that...
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, I think that made a really big difference. It's a real pleasure to see this, 6 months later. Another thing I would point out is that this makes an incredibly pleasant and gentle walkway. But if this were real sod, you would quickly destroy it with the amount of traffic that gets concentrated in a 3-foot area. And so by going artificial, we were able to eliminate steps and also, add to the sense of greenery by unifying these two areas. And these are Stelladora daylilies, which bloom longer than any daylily that there is. They bloom all summer long. And what I love about a stone wall for new walls rather than wood is that this will be there in 100 years. People love stone. This is local Sonoma field stone, which is ecological because the most energy is consumed transporting stone. Like if you get Connecticut bluestone, they're bringing it from Connecticut. That's heavy trucking across the country, and so when you go local, you not only cut the carbon footprint, but your cost goes down. This stone is like 400% less expensive than any of the imported stone,